Hello, my name is Kevin Chu. I'm the Group Product Manager for Configure, Release, and Monitor. In this video, I want to walk you through the highlights of the deployment direction page. I also want to share with you some of the context behind why we felt a need to create a separate direction page in the first place. And this deployment page is somewhat unique in the sense that it's not tied to a specific stage. Let me share my screen. So what is deployment? We've defined deployment as the time when a developer promotes a coded, integrated, and built software application to a production environment. Only after you deploy an application can your users derive value from it. It is an extremely important moment for that software application. It is a point where all the development and related efforts can start to pay off. As such, it is also viewed as a risky activity. After all, many of us have experienced deployments that's gone wrong in some way. Historically, GitLab has treated deployment simply as a second part of CI/CD. Today, developers can deploy their software by configuring their project pipelines in the same way you implement continuous integration. Namely, that is to set it up via the GitLab CI YAML file. However, there's both a market recognition as well as a recognition internally at GitLab that deployment is actually altogether a different job that's separate from continuous integration. This job becomes even harder with the convergence of applications and infrastructure merging via containerization. And it has actually always been difficult to do when it is scaled across a large organization. For these reasons, we want to highlight this problem to solve and organize ourselves accordingly to solve this problem efficiently. And the first piece of this puzzle is to define a crisp vision and strategy, and we hope that we have done that via this direction page. What is our vision? Our vision for deployment is to enable your organization to be an elite performer in DevOps by making the hardest part of DevOps, deployment, easy, flexible, and secure. We recognize that organizations now often set up platforms where development teams, or DevOps teams, to create internal deployment platforms. We wanted to target that persona, the platform engineer, directly. Henceforth, we'll refer to that persona as Priyanka. By empowering Priyanka to define and automate DevOps practices that has security and compliances guardrails built directly into the process, we believe that enables her to enable her developers to own their specific deployment operations without toil. Yet they get to retain the flexibility and efficiency gained from using Priyanka's deployment platform. We recognize that there's actually not just a single kind of deployment. The type of deployment targets and the scale and complexity by which an organization operates at creates different kinds of deployment challenges. To accomplish our vision, we actually need to enable organizations to be good at deployment, no matter the type of deployment they're dealing with. For independent deployments, these are deployments of individual projects that can be deployed in an automated fashion. Users of GitLab today can leverage the CI/CD pipeline to achieve continuous deployment. For deployments to Kubernetes, we're improving our ability to do so using the GitLab Kubernetes agent. And lastly, for orchestrated deployments, these are complex deployments that require orchestration across multiple projects. We need to enable users to sequence, visualize, coordinate approvals, enable progressive delivery practices in order for these organizations to become a top DevOps performer. Scrolling down to our one-year plan, what we're focused on now is to beef up our offerings specifically for Kubernetes deployment and orchestrated deployments. To do so, we're going to create two new categories. First, environment management. We want to enable Priyanka to have a centralized view in GitLab to coordinate all of the deployments across her organizations. And platform management, we want to give her a way to manage shared processes and resources while simultaneously supporting team autonomy. We also plan to continue to make improvements in Kubernetes management, namely the Kubernetes agent, release orchestration, infrastructure as code, and the ability to measure successful organizations. Thank you for watching this overview. If you have any questions, please follow the instructions at the top of the page to reach out to me directly. Cheers.